Hey, welcome to the Guided Growth Podcast. Today I have my old friend Leah from Undivided coaching on. She talks to me about how she's built this coaching platform and how she's helping empowering women across the country build their body and build their mental and physical health. Today we talk about the female cycle, how to support them during the different phases. We also discuss the business side of her coaching platform and how it is growing. You've been in front of the camera for how long? 2 years?
Well, yeah, I've done a lot of filming stuff now.
So you've done so many more reps than I've done. So you're naturally going to be a bit more comfortable, I think.
I feel, but honestly, first time I got in front of a camera, I was like...
Why did you fight that, inside you had to fight that mental block of being in front of the camera?
Yeah, I had this weird paranoia that people were going to think I look really stupid.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because I watch people talking to the camera all the time and I'm like, oh, cool. And I don't even think anything about it. And then as soon as I did it, I remember I was actually in Portugal with Ben, my friend Ben. I don't know if you know him, Ben Mark. He lives in, I think he lives in Crawley. And we were on this team shoot thing in Portugal. Yeah. And he was like, we're not leaving until you go and talk in front of the camera on your phone. And I was like, in the middle of Portugal, doing this photo shoot. It's like a 4-day photo shoot event. Yeah. He was the one that actually got me starting with online coaching a little bit more. And I remember he was like, we're not leaving until you go and talk. And I was like, what now? He was like, yeah, now. And that was the first time that I ever spoke. And then he just kept pushing me. And he used to message me every time he saw my story. He'd message me and be like, that shit, do it again.
That's good. We need friends like that. Some friends, they speak to you in a way where you don't get offended. And it only improves you.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can take away that block of offense, it's so good for you. Because you just improve every time.
Yeah, because it's just so honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually I just stopped saying and so every 2 seconds and it slowly got better.
Yeah, I think I still do a lot of ums.
It's really hard though when you feel like you're being watched sometimes, isn't it?
Now, I always think this. I have to do this in front of the camera because if I don't, my business doesn't grow. If my business doesn't grow, then I'm just wasting my time doing everything. Yeah. And this is the only way to grow a business now. Yeah. If I'm not making content.
Well, you need to put yourself out there on as many platforms as possible, don't you? Really?
Yeah. Do you do LinkedIn and stuff?
So I have looked at it a little bit, but because I feel like I'm running so many things socially at the minute. I've got Instagram, I've got my coaching Instagram, I've got YouTube, I've got 2 podcasts, I've got bits and bobs on Facebook, and I just feel like a TikTok. It's a lot, right, to run.
LinkedIn's the only platform where you can search for people by job description. It's the only one. So with YouTube, you can search for people who are personal trainers. Yeah. So for me, it's really powerful because personal trainers looking to go online or someone who's got a gym owner, I can find those people and market to them specifically. So it's a really good platform.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Will was edging me towards that because he was you can put so much educational content out there on there. Yeah,
and because you have a professional tone to your content as well. You're quite multifaceted in your stuff. You have a professional side and a friendly side as well. So I think that professional side, if it could be shown on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that'll be a good trick.
Maybe I'll have a look into that.
So we've got a good story how we know each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So I worked with you at Virgin, and obviously now you've got this massive business. And when we worked at Virgin, you were a fitness coach, yeah?
Yeah.
So what was your job as fitness coach?
So I was basically teaching HIIT classes.
Yeah.
Teaching classes and I think we used to do the inductions on the gym floor.
Yeah.
And basically people that would come in and want to be shown around the gym. And then it was a lot of cleaning, setting up equipment, talking to people in the gym, that sort of thing.
Do you think putting gym equipment away and cleaning, those hard jobs that you didn't want to do?
Yeah.
That work that you were not shy from doing helps you now?
Yeah, 100%, because I feel like I used to, because I was at uni and I was working at Tribe, which was a boot camp, and I was teaching at Virgin. So I was working pretty much a full-time job around uni in my second and third year at uni. And I was like, oh my God, imagine if I can get to the point where I'm able to work from home. So I was getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning, working really long days. And I was like, well, imagine if I can get to the point when I'm working at home. And now I feel like I really appreciate that because that's what I wanted to do for so long.
You can't skip the grind, can you? You have to do it to know what type of pace you should be working at later. I'm really happy that I worked loads of shit and hard jobs earlier on, because now, even though I'm working all the time, it's not as hard as working in a restaurant for 12 hours.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I feel like I I'm so glad I did all that and all the hours on the gym floor, and obviously like hours of consultation calls, like helping girls that had never trained get into training, and then obviously like transitioning to PT, because that gave me so much experience.
Yeah.
And like even people skills, you know, like being able to talk to people and get to know people you never spoke to before. And also I had such then a big client base from like the Sheffield area. When I went to PT and when I moved online, I had so many people that were like coming to me for help, because I'd worked at so many different gyms in Sheffied and spoke to so many people.
So did your online business grow quite fast then?
It was actually fairly steady. So it was when I worked at quite a few places in Sheffield, because obviously I was at Virgin.
Yeah.
And then, so I was actually lifeguarding. Can you remember when I was at Virgin, I was lifeguarding?
Yellow t-shirt, I remember.
Yeah, so I remember, you know how Virgin has that big, like, it had that big ring, didn't it?
Around
the gym.
You can see everyone from upstairs, you can see all the pool.
Yeah. So I used to sit on the, obviously I was watching the pool, right? But I used to sit on the lifeguard chair, and you could see like all the gym people, and I was like, oh, I'd love to work up there. And I think
you started as a lifeguard first?
Yeah, I was a lifeguard.
Okay.
And then I saw all these people in the gym, and I thought, oh, I'd really like to do that. So, I did my level 2 when I was at uni, I think I was 18 or maybe 19.
Yeah.
And then Virgin put me through my level 3 PT. So was teaching class at Tribe, doing a little bit of PT at Virgin. I think I got up to maybe like 6 or 7 clients.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't work 30 hours a week and be at uni. So I stopped working at Virgin, went to Tribe, and then basically transitioned into like full-time PT while I was at Tribe. So then I was teaching 20 hours at Tribe classes, which is like intense, right?
And you're physically moving your body a lot of the times. You're not just stood there, are you?
Yeah.
That's 20 hours of movement.
Yeah, it's hard. You're basically like teaching the classes. And I was like prepping at this time as well. So I think that was when I was doing my first prep. So yeah, and I started PT and then at the same time. So obviously because of the area, it was like quite a nice area, but a lot of people know each other. And then that kind of fed into the PT
Wasn't it
side.
Prosecco after training?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of that. yeah.
I just found it ridiculous how people are going somewhere for a class and having Prosecco after.
It's kind of like a, I don't know.
Bougie.
It's like, yeah, it literally is, but it's like a bit of a cult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone knows everyone. It was like fun. It wasn't just the class. It was a whole
community.
Yeah, it's like a big atmosphere type thing. Yeah, they used to do loads of events, and it was good, to be fair. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So then I started basically PTing, that took over, and then I stopped doing Tribe, so it was full-time PT. Yeah. And then moved
Where were you
around.
doing your PT then?
So it was actually at BX Fitness in Sheffield.
Same owner.
Same owner, which is how I got into the PT, because the owner was like, oh, like, come in PT here, basically. Yeah. And then, PT got up to, I think I was doing up to like 40 hours a week. Obviously phased out the Tribe and stopped doing that. And then I moved around a couple of gyms. So I actually worked at what is now Ultraflex. Yeah. When it was Iron Athlete. So I did some PT there. That's how I met like some of my friends that got me into competing. And then went to Pure Gym. So I moved to Pure Gym because I was working with Gen Pop women, and it was just not the right atmosphere at that time. Yeah. So I moved to Pure Gym, and again built back up. So I literally moved gyms like 3 times and built up from not many clients to like full client base at all 3 gyms.
So every time you went to a new gym, you got busy?
Yeah.
So you obviously had a natural skill. There was something there that you developed to like constantly go from 0 to full.
Yeah, I think I never saw that, but then when I look back, I was like, oh, maybe I was okay at that then.
Yeah. But that's why you're good at this now, because there's obviously you have natural ability, but some skill that you learned through doing the job. Yeah. And it transitions to like online, because I take on a lot of online clients and they've never done any type of sales. Yeah. And they find it so hard to like think, oh, how do I extract information from this prospect? How do I do it?
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing with that is I literally just used to go up to people in the gym and talk to them. So I remember when I was doing the classes at Virgin, I used to teach like all the classes at like peak time. Yeah. And then after I would like literally plug PT and go and just talk to people. And eventually it just built up doing that. Yeah. So I think like I wasn't afraid of going up to people and just chatting to them. And
Iron Athlete, that's Ultraflex now, because before I worked at Virgin, me and Fadi had Iron Athlete. Yeah. Because it was ours. And then
I remember that.
I went on and I went on to Virgin. Fadi went on to grow Iron Athlete until it sold to Ultraflex. Yeah. Because like Sheffield is a small city when you think about it now, isn't it? It is like, but you're not from Sheffield originally?
No, from like North Derbyshire.
Okay, you're from North Derbyshire.
Moved to Sheffield for uni.
Yeah, then you realise how small that city is. And now we both escaped.
I liked it there though. I would move back to Sheffield.
I don't think I would move back.
I liked it. I think it's because I feel like that's where I like grew a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have a lot of connections with Sheffield, so I think I'm a bit like partial to it.
Where's North Derbyshire? What area is that?
Near like Belper area.
Okay, Belper. Is that near Matlock, yeah?
Kind of like 20 minutes-ish.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So you're from like pretty much the countryside.
Yeah,
almost.
so basically grew up in like a little village, went to school, and then went to uni, studied sports science, and went from there really.
Did your degree help you now?
Yeah, I think so. I wish that because I worked so much, and looking back, I wish I'd just like, I don't know. No, you can't really say that because I guess like that got me to where I am now.
Yeah.
But no, well, it was a really good degree. Obviously, it covered like S&C, so I specialised in like S&C and then nutrition. So that was good. We did like psychology, like what else? Biomechanics, physiology, nutrition. So that obviously was really helpful.
But I think when I've learned stuff earlier on, it goes over your head until you relearn things, and then you connect it to how you learned it the first time, and it's so different.
Yeah.
And like the nutrition knowledge that you learned at uni, is that different to nutrition knowledge that you apply now?
Yeah, I guess I feel like I know a lot more now than I did at uni because that was, looking back, that was probably fairly basic stuff.
Yeah.
And it was, a lot of it was like sport specific, so it was in regards to like sport performance.
Yeah.
Whereas now obviously it's more, well, I guess a lot of it is performance in terms of like competing.
Well, now you're not just a coach who's giving nutrition advice. At times you're probably going to be providing some sort of therapy, some sort of mental health as well.
That's the thing as well. I think a lot of it, as people say this to me a lot, they're like, oh, you like my life coach.
Yeah.
And because when you get to know someone and they put their trust in you as a coach, obviously they then feel like they can come to you with other things around their life, and it might be like time management or planning, or even things to do with like family stuff or something they're struggling with mentally, because to them it's someone that they can be like honest with and open up to.
Well, if you think about it, how much of your interaction with any client that you can think of is, how much of that conversation is food related and how much is it life related?
Well, it's probably pretty like even split, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's probably a section of it is training, nutrition, sleep hygiene, supplementation, etc. And then a portion of it is like time management or how they feel, or like body image or something related to their mindset, or like them not believing in themselves.
And like when you look at your retention or your churn rate of your clients, it's probably reflective of like they're staying with you because they're finding it's not just nutrition. Leah's also providing me so much more than that. Yeah. That's why they're staying with you. Not just staying with you because anyone can do them a diet, can't they?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I get like a lot of girls that have come to me that have come from coaches that have literally just been given a diet plan, and then it's like the client's needs on and what they want aren't actually being listened to. Yeah. So then they don't either get the result they want, or they feel like the method that's been used isn't right for them.
So clients come to you, they've come from, would you say clients who come to you are usually coming to you from a male coach, another female coach? How does it look like when someone's come to you? What problems are they having? Because you're fixing a problem for them, that's why you're there. Yeah. So what problem are you fixing?
So a lot of the girls do come from other coaches, so not necessarily straight away, but at some point. So a lot of them come from either like more lifestyle-based coaches, or maybe like group programs. Like, you get a lot of women that have done like a lot of transformation programs and things like that. So recently as well, started working with more girls that are going into either photo shoots or like comp preps and things like that. So they've maybe had some sort of coach experience, but then want to like push it to the next level a little bit more. But I guess I have a really mix of clients at the minute. So like some that are more lifestyle, that are maybe wanting to lose weight or kind of build muscle, and then some that are heading more down the advanced route. So
how do you like support different ones? Is there a time where you think this person shouldn't compete and then you pull them away from a diet? Or like, because if I've got a goal to compete and you think it's not right for me, would you tell me, or would you like, how does it work?
100%. And that's where I think that I may be different from other coaches, because I know a lot of coaches that I think maybe just push people towards it when they're not ready. And I've had this conversation with so many girls that come to me and they're like, I want to do a show in 12 weeks. And I'm like, no, like, I don't even know you. Like, I don't even know where you're at. Like, we haven't spent time, getting that foundation in place first. And obviously competing is intense. It is extreme. Like, you are hungry. It's not, you can try and make it as healthy as possible, but obviously it's not the healthiest thing to do. And I get a lot of girls that are maybe seeing that from the outside and seeing like the glitz and the glam, and then they come in and they're like, yeah, I want to prep in 12 weeks. And it's like, it takes so much time to get someone in a position where they're ready to prep, like mentally and physically. And I think a lot of coaches maybe don't I mean, there are obviously some amazing coaches like
Well,
my
if I
coach.
tell you we'll do a comp in 16 weeks, I've now got you for 4 months.
Yeah, I know, but I just think...
Yeah, that's what what the common thinking is.
Yeah.
They see the monetary value
Yeah.
of that person. They won't see their health, because obviously if we go into their health and what point you think health is now a detriment, because you can do things healthy, you can compete healthy, but there is probably a mark where it's potentially going to be unhealthy for you. So what's that point where you think the last 4 weeks, last 6 weeks, when is it potentially unhealthy?
I guess it's like, it's different for every client, because like for most girls will obviously lose their cycle when they go through a comp prep, which obviously isn't healthy as such. But obviously if you can, like the girls that I've got prepping now, we've spent the last 6 to 8 months building up their food, getting their food up really high. So they're in the best place they can possibly be. Like the training's really good, the structure's locked in. So I know that they're in the best position they can be to start that prep in the healthiest place possible. Like we have a really good relationship. I know that they're honest with me. You know, I know them really well. Their calories are super high. So obviously that's putting them in the best position possible to start a prep. Whereas if I get someone that's on 1,800 calories and they're like, yeah, I want to prep and I've got 16 weeks, it's like, I don't know them, I don't know how their bodies respond, you know, and it's the same with like a photo shoot even. So I think it's different for every person. And obviously you do have to push quite hard at the end if you're doing a shoot or a comp or, you know, that. But I just think if you can get the back end work done, it makes it the best it can be.
The main thing is that you care about their mental and physical health.
Yeah. And
that's why you're doing it.
Yeah. And I also think if I had a client that was like struggling with like, you know, binge eating or was not able to stick to their prep diet as such, then I wouldn't diet them. You know, I would say to them, look, I don't think this is the right time. Yeah. Maybe we need to come away from this. Whereas, you know, maybe some coaches wouldn't. Maybe they would just push them and be like, well, this is what you need to do and that's that. But I just don't think it's worth it. Well,
I used to work on the other side of it. So, you know, I own sports rehab clinics, assembled clinics. And in those clinics, like I'm qualified in like gynae medicine, you know, acupuncture. I used to offer like acupuncture for like different cycles. So I used to really work for someone who's struggling with PCOS or endo. So then we used to help female cycles regulate their cycles. And then a lot of the times with competitors, bikini wellness, they used to say, oh, well, I've lost my cycle. And when I used to deep dive and ask them questions about their cycle, I used to find that they didn't even know about the different phases or the different 4 parts of the cycle. They didn't know. They track it on an app. Most commonly, they'll track it on an app. They'll know how many days it should be, but they don't actually know how their body and food and cravings change in the 4 cycles. So, like, what's your experience on that? Do you find a lot of women are aware in health and fitness for their cycle and where they should be?
In terms of like girls that I coach? Yeah. So actually not many girls I feel like are aware of that. And obviously most girls know, like at the end of their luteal phase, which is obviously where you're like coming on to your period, hunger increases, your appetite increases, you get a bit more lethargic. Like most girls are probably aware of that, but they don't know it's because obviously the hormones changing. And I work with a lot of the girls on, for example, like the scale weight, and they'll get freaked out when, you know, the weight comes up. And it's like, well, it's just water retention. It's just because of the hormone changes that are coming into play.
That connects you to your body, makes you feel like, oh, you might be self-conscious as well.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you hit follicular, you're probably feeling amazing again.
Yeah, obviously, like when your estrogen comes up again, like you're around ovulation, that tends to be like when things are pretty good. Yeah. So it's like if I can educate the girls that I work with on all of the behind the scenes, and not just that, but like the training, the food, like everything, you know, they have a much better understanding, and it turns into a much better long-term thing rather than it just being, here's your 8-week transformation plan, you know? And
it connects you to your deeper, like your audience at a deeper level, your core mission for your audience. Yeah. And like, obviously you mentioned that you got this portal now. Yeah. So like, is this one way to support them even further?
Yeah, so I wanted to create something that basically had loads of different topics, so like videos, recipe packs, you know, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I basically built out this course that covers loads of different areas, and my girls can then log into that and like watch all the videos. And like I do lives with my clients as well, like once a week. So we'll do once a month, so we'll do like a video, and that all gets recorded and put in. And we've had like guest speakers on. So the idea is over time, I can basically like build this out. So when a client comes on board, they've got the one-to-one, they've got the app, they've got obviously the community, but they've also got this big portal that's got
library of content. So you're providing education and coaching. So it's like got 2 facets to your business.
Yeah, and the community as well, because we do like the team calls once a week, once a month, and then we also do team training sessions. Okay,
you're giving so much to your clients. So you got your team calls, which are monthly. Yeah. And then what else is there?
One-to-one, they're like team training sessions. So we do them in Derby and they're once a month. So
your clients can come and meet you and train with you?
Yeah, every month, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I love them because it's really nice. Because like now, a lot of the girls have met each other at the team training sessions. And it's like I had a client join me maybe like, well, she's been to 2 training sessions now. So she must have been with me maybe a couple of months. And we were able to literally work through loads of movements. So I know that she's gone off and she can train, pretty well.
Yeah.
And I do try and train with clients as well, like when I can, if they want to come and train, they can come and visit and train, which is really nice.
So like, what's your core mission with obviously one side of it is you're a business. Yeah. So to build your business, you've only been able to invest this much in your business by charging the prices that you charge and by delivering the service that you charge. And if you never did that in the first step, you never would have been able to have all these amazing services now.
Yeah.
So what's the goal with this business? Where's it going?
So I just feel like I want to, this sounds really cliche.
No, it can sound cliche.
I just feel like I want to help as many women as possible because if I look back to like where I was like kind of into training, trained, did a bit of cardio stuff, did a little bit of weight stuff, but I didn't really have like a clear direction. And I didn't know any other girls that were doing like a similar sort of thing. So I just feel like if I can bring together girls to all be following a similar sort of thing, right, and create like a really nice community and help more people, and I guess it's kind of like where I was, if I'd have had like direction and structure, and I went through a couple of prep coaches, and that it wasn't anything like what I'm doing in terms of the support and the education. And I think, God, if I'd have had that from the start, where I was like just starting to get more interested, if I'd have had that, I would have learnt so much more, and I probably would have had a much better first prep.
Yeah.
So I think if I can provide that for like more girls.
So you found what is needed by actually experiencing it?
Yeah, and I think I've only just realised that recently because obviously it just naturally kind of goes in there. I don't know, I guess I didn't plan it that way, but it just went that way.
Yeah.
So, but I think only looking back, it's like, oh, actually, this is probably what I needed maybe a few years back. So yeah, basically if I can help more people and
sorry, just looking at the screen. I'm just remembering where I'm at.
Oh yeah, we're getting carried away. Yeah, if I can basically help more girls.
Get carried away, that's a good thing.
If I can help like loads more girls and build up an amazing community.
Yeah.
Because obviously I mean I have got quite a few girls, but I think if I can really like grow this and be like essentially maybe the go-to coach in that area that maybe helps girls take things a bit more seriously, but does it in a good way, like a healthy way.
With integrity.
Yeah, that's not just, I don't just want to be like another prep coach that gets girls on stage. I want there to be more to it than that. And obviously not everyone wants to prep, which is also fine. Like I work with a lot of girls that just want to lose weight, or they want to build muscle, or they want to improve their relationship with food. And I feel like, again, because I've struggled with that, obviously I'm not a dietitian, but I work with girls that are also having professional support. Yeah. If I can help them with that, it's all with the same, goal of improving women's lives, but in a, and providing as much support and education as possible, not just by giving them a plan.
Well, your core mission connects to something that you've experienced, and now you saw no one's offering this. I'm going to go a step further and build out this. When you look at your business on like a bird's eye view now, if you think of how many layers it has and it's built over time, it's been built by constantly delivering more and giving more, and that's why your business constantly keeps growing. Yeah,
and I remember when I started, I was literally using like, I think I was using like Excel, which is obviously fine. Like good coaches now still use Excel. But
is this for like a shared?
Yeah, but it was all over the place. And honestly, I had stuff in Google Drive, I had stuff on Excel. I feel like I come up with so many ideas, and then it's like stuff is all over the place. Yeah. And I only feel like now I've been coaching for like 7 years now, and it's only just got to the point where it's like everything's organised and structured and. Yeah.
How do you stay organised? What do you use? Like I use Trello with a lot of my clients as well. Yeah, I love Trello. So I like, obviously you can automate the back end of Trello, but like with Trello, I manage my clients' project management. So when they join me, let's say they join on like an 8-step program, I'll set up everything in Trello for every single week and every step. And then within the cards of Trello, we'll put in where they're currently at. I tried Asana, I tried Notion. So I tried other platforms, but I found that they weren't using it. So I changed it to one that we can get notifications from that we were both using, and it's easy on the app. So like, do you use something similar?
Yeah, so I do use Trello. I use that for like client management stuff. So for like when my clients plan, because I run my clients' plans in like 8-week cycles. So we'll do like we'll basically have a call, we'll do like a review, we'll plan out the next 8 weeks of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we'll do another review and a call. So that's how I like plan all their due dates and make sure the check-ins are done on time and, you know, payments and that sort of stuff.
So like if you've got someone who's got this 8-week review, it keeps them accountable working up to a date.
Yeah.
And then they've got something to look forward to. There's almost a nice pressure on them as well.
Yes.
Because it's like, we're going to be having that chat soon, so let's make sure we've made progress.
Exactly, yeah. And also, like, people's goals change. So a client might join me and, you know, they might say, right, I want to improve my relationship with food initially. And then we might put some things into place that obviously we've got the weekly check-in, might talk a bit around them as well. And then we get there and we can be like, right, okay, this is improved, you know, this has worked really well. What do we want to do for the next 8 weeks? So it just helps, because otherwise you get clients that sort of slowly lose interest and then they're not clear on what they're doing and then they just drop off. Whereas if you can keep a client like engaged and, you know, knowing what they want, the chances of them continuing to make progress are going to be so much better.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, I've noticed, like, because I've been speaking to so many coaches and we've been building out like coaching platforms, the coaches who are trying to build their business and only think about money are not the ones that grow their business so big. And the ones who think about just about serving their customers, trying to help as many people as they can, seem to just build this business that's way bigger.
Yeah.
So like, you can probably relate to it.
Yeah, I guess because it's like, if the client's getting a good experience, then A, they're going to stay, and B, they're probably going to recommend you to people.
Yeah.
So if you're focusing on showing up for your clients and making things better and your client can see that, then it just, because that's it, isn't it? It's like retention, and then you want to retain while you're bringing in new clients.
5 people leave you and then 4 people join.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going backwards, aren't you?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are going to be looking at the 4 that have joined, but they've not even looked at or how many people have left.
Yeah, and obviously sometimes it is a good thing when clients leave, because if I get a client and they've like achieved what they want, then great. But obviously you don't want the client to stop before they've reached their goal, really.
Yeah. So then, like, you don't mind letting clients go because now they've achieved their goal.
Yeah.
Because everyone's different. Some will need support for just a 6-month period.
Yeah.
Some might need it ongoing. Like for me, like with my, like, I'm trying to find a mentor at the moment, and I'm trying to find someone that I can work with on the long term. And like, I spoke to someone recently, they went, oh yeah, we can do an 8-week plan, but I want to have a forever ongoing plan.
Yeah.
When I reach the scale of, now my business has grown past what you can offer me, now I'll find the next one.
Yeah.
So like, rather than thinking about, I just want to do something in the short term.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what I want to try and do with my coaching as well, make it like an evergreen thing, so they can just, that's why I like doing the calls, because it's so specific to them. It's not like they're on an 8-week plan and then they move on to a new plan.
Yeah.
It like transitions through all the phases. So
I love that term, evergreen. So your YouTube is evergreen because the content is forever going to be shown, and the content's always going to be there. So like, now you're putting more effort into it. Yeah.
So I started it I think when I did my first prep, it was my second prep. So when I prepped for the British in 2021, I started it then because I followed a lot of people that were like doing YouTube, and I was like, this looks fun. And it was always something that I kind of wanted to do, but it's like what we were saying at the start. I had this like phobia of talking to the camera, and it used to absolutely terrify me. And I was like, oh my God.
What was the phobia? What was the fear?
I don't know. I just got paranoid about what people would think. And yeah, you know, when I first set up my Instagram, when I was at uni, and it was private for ages because I was petrified of someone that I was like, someone at uni finding this Instagram, and it was just a fitness Instagram account. So the Instagram that I have now, I set up as like a private account.
Yeah.
And then I remember in the swim team, like everyone found out about it, and I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Yeah, and obviously then it wasn't private anymore. But even from then, I don't know what it was. I think it was just, I was a bit...
Was it like imposter syndrome? Have you had that before?
Yeah, maybe a bit. Yeah, maybe because I like looked up to all these people and I was like, I'm not like them, maybe.
Yeah. Self-belief.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, wouldn't talk in front of the camera. So then I saw these people doing it and I was like, right, I'm going to start YouTube. So I bought a little vlogging camera, and started. And I did it all myself. And it's so I filmed all of my 2021 prep. Yeah. And then obviously the last prep as well to the universe in last year in 2022.
I had that same thing. I had that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And then what helped me was I thought, can I help one person who knows less than I do? And when the answer was yes, then that imposter syndrome seemed to go.
Yeah.
Because there's always someone who knows more than me. There's always someone who knows less. But now that I'm doing it, I'm finding so many people need help and so many people want that support. And then as that feeling's been growing, gives me less and less imposter syndrome on the camera when I'm recording.
Yeah, and also once you start getting positive feedback, like once I started getting messages from people being like, oh, I really enjoyed YouTube, or like I've had clients come to me from YouTube, and it's really nice because like I get on calls with them and they already know me so well because they've watched loads of my YouTubes, and obviously because they're quite like, it's just me chatting.
They've invested
basically
in watching your long form content.
Yeah.
And if they, let's say you're the watch hours, the analytic. If they've watched you for 1,000 hours, now, like, let's say you've had that much watch time, they're going to feel like they do know you.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really nice because then you get on a call with them and you know, they already know you.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoy filming the YouTubes. I quite like it. So yeah, did all that myself, and then I've just recently started getting some bits like filmed professionally, which is, again, at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this, but I quite like doing that as well. And obviously it's a lot less because they're all edited, and you then get the reel you can post on Instagram. And obviously it's really good when you're out and about because you don't have to keep like getting your camera out.
Yeah.
So I've started doing a little bit. Like I got my last client team training day filmed in April.
Is that on your YouTube? Let's have.
That's not on yet actually.
Let me see let's see if I can throw up your YouTube on here. Okay, this is your YouTube.
Yeah, this is my YouTube.
So like.
So it's not massive, obviously.
I like.
But
Well, it's not about the following because it's just about what you can provide people, and if you're uploading this regularly.
Yeah, I try and do one. Well, I do 2 weeks actually. I do a vlog a week, and then I also do. So that's my podcast.
Which one's that?
That's the podcast. So all those are the podcasts. Yeah, they're literally just me sat at home on my computer doing a Zoom.
Yeah.
So me and Sanaya, who we competed together, we have a podcast together as well, which is more like a bodybuilding podcast.
What's that one called?
It's called Anything Goes.
And where would people listen to that?
That's on YouTube as well.
Okay.
It's on Sanaya's podcast, Sanaya's YouTube, but it's also on iTunes. That is a lot more like bodybuilding heavy, like competing.
Yeah.
And that actually gets, I mean, we only started that we're on episode 10, and that's getting at the minute like 600 to 700 views an episode.
That's pretty good for 10
yeah, we're
episodes.
quite happy with that.
You know, with YouTube, there's a stat. To get to 10k followers, the average account has 3 uploads a week for 2 years.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that consistency of 3 uploads a week for, let's say, 104 weeks would allow you to now build that much of a following.
That's a lot of filming and editing time.
So when you think about the work that goes into it, obviously you have your anomalies, like you have Mr. Beast and you've got all these people that just get crazy views, but the average channel that's the consistency.
Yeah, okay. A lot of work. But I think YouTube is like a slow burner, isn't it? You just have to keep chipping away at it.
But I think people buy from it.
Yeah, because they know you.
Yeah, because then, like, if I watch your reels and I watch 5 of them, I've known you for 30 seconds for each one. I don't tend to rewatch. With YouTube, if I watch like one of your videos here, if it's 22 minutes long and I watch that for 22 minutes,
yeah, exactly.
This one's 44 minutes. If I listen to you speak 44 minutes, I'm probably going to buy what you're selling.
Yeah, and people love, like, if you go, I don't know if you can go down on that,
but
I
can go.
If you look at all their, so if you keep going down a bit more.
There he is, Will.
Oh, there's Will.
Looking stacked.
Yeah, we did a podcast together actually.
Okay.
But I literally documented all of my prep. So this was every week through the whole prep. Literally all of these.
Also, these are all like your prep journals.
From the one on the right there. Oh God, I came back one day and I was filming and he had like all my gym clothes on and he was like posing and I walked in and I was like, what's going on? So that's that explained. But yeah, all these are literally from my prep to the universe. So I used to just do a video a week.
And this is why I said it's evergreen, because even 5 years from now, this is watchable.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing I want to do this year is like, because I stopped prepping.
I love these thumbnails. Look at that emotion there.
Yeah, that was from that was just a photo I think that like someone took. It wasn't like a professional one or anything, or actually maybe that one was. So
I work with a lot of online coaches and the limitation they have is budget.
Yeah, so obviously it is expensive.
Which one of these are professionally filmed? Which one of these are just filmed by you?
Okay, professional, that leg day one on the left.
Yeah.
That day in the life one.
Yeah.
On the top right. All the others on there are from me.
Okay, so looking back, think about the money that you've spent on these professional ones. Has the ROI been worth it on YouTube, or would you say you should have done more just yourself?
I do think the odd professional one is good. Like if you look at that one, that got really good views.
Okay.
And also the one that I did recently.
So the ones that are professionally filmed have got more views?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that sense, you do see ROI from it.
Yeah, but I do think as well, people love the vlog ones because they're like, it's just really natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas, and you can just completely be yourself.
And the reason why I've actually brought this up and looking at YouTube is because I would class you as a successful coach and you have a really good niche, which is like women, trying to empower them, trying to give them a lot of knowledge, focusing on their health. And there's a lot of online coaches out there that haven't figured out their audience, haven't figured out their true calling, haven't figured out how they're going to help the most amount of people. But just this work that you can see, when you look back, you think that is a lot of work I've put in.
Yeah, I think I like really struggle. Like when people are like, oh, you're doing really well, I'm like, like I just don't know what to say, because I guess I don't know. I think because I know how much more I want to do.
Yeah. But that's a good thing, because if you get happy, you get lazy. If you get content, you don't want to do anymore, because now I'm happy with what I've got. Yeah. Like, do you know, there's this thing about, like, you know, people who are ultra wealthy, they're not the ones who are enjoying their beachfront house. It's their family and friends. They're actually thinking about the next thing they need to do. Yeah. So like when you buy your dream house one day, you're not going to enjoy it as the people living in it, because you're going to be thinking about what's next. Yeah,
but I feel like you have to really make a conscious effort to like pull back from that, because otherwise it's like tough. You're never going to be happy.
Are you are you good at being in the present? Do you get any anxiety?
No, I think I've got a lot better. I think I used to, when I was in like business mentorships in the past, I think I got in like quite a bad spot as such, where I was like, because you're always surrounded by people who are doing more, which is good in a way, it pushes you. But I think after a while it's like, it can be quite difficult, because obviously I ended up comparing myself. I was like, I'm nowhere near where they're doing. I need to do better. And then it just made me feel really like down all the time, because I was like, I'm not where they are. Yeah. But I think...
How did you transition out of that then?
So I stopped the mentorship thing I was doing at one point, because I was like, you know what, I've actually got everything set up. Like, I'm in a position where I can just like ride this out and do it myself for a bit. Yeah, and I think...
You took the reins yourself. You said, I can do it.
Yeah. Because obviously it helped me build. Like I started working with a business coach when it was in lockdown. So I basically was forced. Sorry, I'm backtracking right to the start.
That's okay.
I was forced to go online because it was when lockdown hit, and I think I had 14 online clients when I was at Pure Gym, and then we went into lockdown, and I was like, right, that's that then. So
I heard a good quote, which is relative to what you're saying. It's funny how much you can get done when you got no choice.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, I need to earn some money.
Yeah.
I'm making like 800 quid a month. I need an actual wage. How do I, and I was charging my online clients maybe like 70 quid. And yeah, I was like, right then, well, need to go all in on this now.
You've done the reps now.
Yeah. So it just built up.
So like, what are you doing to learn now? Are you reading? Are you studying anything?
Yeah, so I finished the I did like it's called Mac Nutrition.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So yeah, I did that.
It's amazing that I've heard a lot of good things about it. A friend of mine did it, and it's very deep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very like sciencey.
Yeah.
But obviously it's got a lot of like a lot of the reading on it is like papers, like published papers, which is quite I really like that. I think because I did it at uni, I found it quite interesting. Yeah,
everything has like a study link to it, and it gives you like a lot of the rumours about this works and that works. It tells you how that's actually not true.
Yeah, that's good. And I also want to do that J3 University course. Yeah, by John Jewett. I really want to do that because I think that looks really interesting. So that's like next on my list to
Is that to go further into the bodybuilding side and give you more of that angle?
Yeah, because I initially started working with like lifestyle clients, and then I think as I've gone more into competing, I get maybe messages more from people now that are maybe wanting to do shoots or wanting to, like, I've got my first 2 girls competing this year, so they're going to be the first 2 girls I'm prepping, which I'm really excited about.
That is exciting.
Yeah, so I think I'm just wanting
to When do they compete?
In September in the PCA First Timers show.
Okay.
So literally the biggest show they could do.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. So they've literally started prep this week. So they're doing 24-week preps.
24 weeks? Yeah, nice and slow like you.
Yeah, especially when it's the first prep. Like, you don't know what we're going to run into or how they're going to respond. So, and I've got a client shoot in Cardiff in July, and we've got 14 girls doing that.
Sick.
So, yeah. Oh, that's something else as well. We do like shoots. So there's like 2
so
shoots
much,
a year.
so many layers to this business.
I know. I get carried away, but I'm like, oh, this is a good idea. And then it just ends up.
So the shoot, what's the idea with that? That gives someone a goal to work towards. Are they pushing themselves to the same competition standard? Are they going a bit less than that? Like, what's the level of body fat? Is there a requirement? Is it what they feel confident with?
Yeah, so I don't really like doing that. I know a lot of coaches do like a transformation thing as a shoot, but I don't really like doing that because I have a lot of girls that maybe have been on very big weight loss journeys, or, maybe they've gone the other way and they're trying to like gain weight, Yeah. So I don't really like doing it as how lean can you get? And obviously some girls do that, but I do it more from, you know, it's a really nice thing to do. A lot of girls wouldn't ever do something like that, right? So it really like pushes them out of their comfort zone.
That does.
Yeah, and also
you're kind of like holding their hand the entire way. You're with them, and you're guiding them through it, so they get to experience this thing they would never do in front of the camera, do this shoot. It's so empowering, I think, for like
exactly.
For them.
That's the thing, right? It's like you get girls and they think, oh, I could never do that. Like I could never go and stand in front of a camera in my underwear and do a photo shoot. Like no, that's not me.
Yeah.
And then 16 weeks later, they're like loving life in front of the camera. They've met a group of like 15 other girls.
Yeah.
We stay away overnight. We go out for dinner. So it's like such an amazing weekend, and we've done loads now with like different photographers all over the UK. So yeah, we do 2 a year, sometimes 2 or 3, sometimes 3 a year. Wow. And yeah, it's just good fun.
I always talk about like selling with emotion. Like, you know this, I'm naturally a salesperson. That's my background. So I always talk about like selling with emotion. So like if I think about the character change that one of your clients is going to go through, so they're going to start not very confident, maybe overweight, maybe having issues with their cycle, to how they finish, to feeling empowered, strong, leaner, happier with how their body looks, they're cycling the right place. That transformation of their emotional state is worth a lot more than money.
Yeah, and obviously that can be, not everyone's like physique goals are going to be the same as such, but they can still go through that whole process of like being, you know, where they were and going through that whole journey.
Yeah.
You know, which is really nice.
That's so good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll probably have you down again in the future. We'll probably go again. I want to hear how your business is progressing and where it's going to. And then we're gonna go into the gym now for like a workout. So we'll see how we'll do. I don't think I'm gonna be as strong as you on legs. What are we training?
I don't know. Well, I've just had a week off, so
we had a week off. Maybe. Let me check my body. maybe back.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a push.
You're strong on back, aren't you? You've always had a good back.
I don't know.
You've always got good shoulders. You've had good shoulders.
I feel like shoulders from swimming, because I used to swim a lot.
Oh, is that what you did? You used to swim?
Yeah, so I swam up to like national level when I was younger. So that's how I got into like strength training, because I used to S&C at uni.
Yeah.
And then before uni as well, we used to have like S&C sessions.
That's so good.
So it's all there, all the hours and hours in the
natural
pool.
structure that you've got, and swim training, like they just put you in the pool and they starve you at times as well.
Well, I definitely ate a lot of food, but
at times when I hear like about swim coaches old fashioned, they used to always tell the athletes to just lose weight.
You know what? I have actually heard some people say that, but I never had, like, to be honest, when I was doing swimming, there wasn't like much nutrition stuff. Everyone was just like, eat loads of carbs.
It's a real sport that lacks a lot of nutrition.
Yeah.
So I think it's getting a lot better now, just like every sport.
Yeah.
But it's been really good speaking to you.
Thank you. You too. It's nice to come on.
I know, it's nice to connect properly again.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I'll see you on the next one. And remember, be hungry, not thirsty.